Hello everyone, how good of you to join. Take a cup of sit back, relax and enjoy Knuters, the vistas of Knuters, a small town right now in the middle of nowhere. A ship is just leaving port, and what does it have in store? What had it in store? Well, grain. The first grain is coming in here, as we can see, some 48 whopping tons that we have. And also, yeah, Madame Kahina is joining us as well, looking at what we have to offer or what she might sell. Nothing really, and so she backs off again. And with that, let's continue with our next productions, which would be now the bread and butter. Bread it is, and then also in the long term, beer. My whole bread production I would like to have then down in this area. Reason for that is we can have another trade union, and with bread later on we can also produce some chocolates. So let's go ahead and squeeze a trade union in just like that. We already have a warehouse here, we have a warehouse here. I'm probably also going to provide this area with another warehouse then here in the middle, beside the trade union. Of course, also as always, it's a good point now of good opportunity to squeeze in another fire station. Then we have these mines, and then also here my bread. Bear in mind, I still like to keep this separation here between my pig farm, so for that we don't have a single entrance point here to my slaughterhouses yet. Later on we can do this, but for now I'm just going to keep it separated. Let's go ahead and cracking with my bread production. Now we are consuming right now 2 bread per minute. A bakery is producing 1 per minute, so we would need 2 bakeries. I'm calculating with up to 10 bakeries, even 15 bakeries long-term wise if we want to go with the chocolate production. And I do need 1 flour mill for every 2 bakeries, so that means at least 6 flour mills we should provide right now. I'm not entirely sure that we can actually boost flour mills with electricity right now. We can do this with the bakery, with the flour mill. I'm not entirely sure. I think we can. Right, so I think we are also going to have the flour mills then down here, close where we can boost them then just nicely. So let's go ahead and place the first 4, and let's actually make the next ones available then here too. And I think this is already way enough of what we ever going to need, right? They have the road connection right away, with the exception of this one here, I think. Oh, Malkin likes this a bit more. Here we have the problem with the mountain again, as I cannot move this warehouse anywhere around, so unfortunately this flour mill here will not do. What we can however do is we can squeeze in a road here, and this way make it possible to not have a bigger gap available there. And that is working too. Let's also not make sure to have a connection here. That means that those flour mills here will only provide right to this warehouse there, producing the flour that those bakeries can get from the warehouse. And the same goes then with those flour mills. They produce or distribute right to these bakeries here. That way we can save some coin and some, well, space. I can then still go ahead and have more bakeries than down here later on, or even some flour mills. I will check about this. Very good, so the grain is in. We have 4 grain farms. That means 2 flour mills I can provide. Let's build them right here, and with that also some 4 bakeries plus the warehouse plus my fire station.
A competitor raised a settlement.
Oh, and there's another settlement here going on right up there. Beryl O'Mara has settled her 3rd island. We still have this tiny island available there in the center that I should actually also claim for myself. Do we have another schooner coming out? I will produce one now. And I think we have another schooner up here ready for sale, as we are only at 10,000 right now. But at least the bread will be coming in now, and then it's only all about the soap. And for the soap, we already have the pig farms. So what I can do here is I can just continue now with my soap production. Soap we consume right now 1 per minute. A soap factory is producing 2 per minute, right? And then the rendering works we need there too. So for that reason we do need 2 pig farms, 2 rendering works, and 1 soap factory. And the reason why I don't like to have the silos here is because they're being built with the fields then all the time. Let's rather not do this. Right? I mean, there are the silos now, and I think we should actually be golden with those for quite some time now, as this silo is also receiving the grain now that we have. And with that, we will have a nice boost in the piggy farms. Let's continue then down here. We do need now, with this warehouse here, 2 rendering works and 1 soap production. That was already really expensive again, pushing us down to 5,000 only now. So this is why all the items were pretty nice, because they allowed us to quickly produce that industry. Now we have a lot of timber. I think this is a good moment for me to upgrade more people. We have lots of farmers right now. And of course, what better way to spend my coin and my timber on upgrading than getting more taxes in. Close to 6,000 people. Is there a quest for us? No. It's just that we have now the grain or the silo being built. And for that silo, however, I will need one additional grain farm. Either this or another thing we could do. We could just push those grain farms by 25%. And already get enough grain in again. These people are happy anyway. Plus 17 for those farmers here. There was a fire though, and I did not build a fire station. Sometimes I'm just way too far in the void to fully notice. And yeah, let's just go ahead and have a couple more houses there, or blocks here.
It's wise to.
Let's also go ahead and start with our brick production in Orb Douche. That would be those factories plus the clay pit. And as always, let's also provide a nice fire station here for the area that also supplies then right away my timber production.
Stand back, I would. Looks like the tubes need a flush.
And already also someone is purchasing shares from another player. We, however, cannot do this with 600 credits left as a share costs 70,000. So they seem to be pretty strong again when it comes to their, well, when it comes to their financial power. There's also the first right that we have right up here in my industry zone. Perhaps I can build a police station that would cover almost all of them. We have a police station here, but that doesn't cover my clay pits, right? So I would like to have the mobile task force then somewhere here, as it's a smaller police station, just fine. And this would cover the whole industry area then in this area. Actually, if we move it over there, we could also take the schnapps distilleries in as well. And yeah, we just need a bit of coin now. And I hope that there is another schooner on its way. Let's also continue getting some schooners out and getting all of them to RG. We need more money still. We're also very tight on the balance. There you go. And I might also continue with upgrading a few more people. Workers. And as we can see, soap and bread is also coming in now. That means we'll soon be able to upgrade the first to artisan. Holy cow, I really do need money. We're still very low on it, so let's continue with selling the next ships. That's at least some 2,500 there again. And yeah, let's just also continue commissioning those ships. My grain is looking good. My pigs are looking good too, thanks to having a boosted pig farm, right? We can now use, or we are now producing 6 out of the 4 pig farms that we have, and we can make enough sausage with that. We do have a nice balanced production right now. The only thing I might need is also another fishery as we continue ramping up these productions. Now, my workers have everything in store. Right, the only thing that would be necessary still is a church or beer, whatever. I can still provide a church later on for happiness if happiness goes down. Right now it's looking good, and this means that we finally can start with artisans getting in our town. And yeah, I would like to go ahead with this right here in the core center. This will cost me quite a lot of steel beams too, but it's also necessary. And there we go. The first artisans move into Knuters. Age of fine craftsmanship is upon us with that. Beautiful houses as the city grows. And this will also open up now expeditions, so we can start with that. However, I don't have an appropriate ship yet. We do need a frigate for that very first expedition. I still need 4 more tons of weapons. And since we do get some more money in now with the taxes from the artisans, I can afford a second weapon factory that I would like to have then in this area too. Also, the docklands would be unlocked now that we can provide later. The next schooner is arriving in RG. And we've also, well, forcefully found Anne now with that. Because with artisans at the latest you unlock her. So the pirate is in. Look at the military score. Much stronger. And also peace would not be possible, and ceasefire is pretty expensive. Let's start by casually dropping in a flattery here or there, so that we can make her happy then as well. Also, the Land of Lions has been unlocked, so the road to Africa would be available. But of course, that is pretty expensive and would require another expedition then. I'm just really waiting now for that frigate. We might actually cancel one of the schooners, because I will be able to build a frigate then once that schooner is ready. Since we have enough timber, let's continue with expanding my city a bit over here. We still have this main road that kind of like leads all the way up there and probably makes a turn then here later on, right? So that we have this whole inner area of the island then surrounded by one big avenue. But for now, we just leave this area then available then, right? And left and right, we can continue building then more houses. So this is all, as we know, in the core area. And I think I've left a patch of road in there, so I was not able to build my houses there just fine. Let's actually make this one a bit bigger, right? So that we can have this road. I would love to have a road throughout the river side, the river district here. Let's also continue here with an empty patch then as well, where we can add some trees and whatnot or special entrances for these houses then once they are at engineer or higher. And yeah, let's also have this block here available then too. As we can see, that's quite big. And here we still have this road that we don't really need anymore, as we have this road here now. That goes to my heavy industry then. Or to my oil industry, that is.
The strike has ended.
And since we have the timber, let's just build these houses now. Alright, also we can now commission the frigate. Perfect. Frigate is ready for action in 6 minutes.
We're taking
Let's also use the remaining steel beams that we have to upgrade a few more people to artisans.
You reach a new
And with that, we've also
milestone.
reached the next city status, which is a city. So Knuters is finally a city. With that, we would have the zoo now unlocked and all kinds of other buildings, like the sewing machines, the cannery, some dockland modules, the docklands themselves, some more hospital buildings as well, and the post office, but also the window maker, which would probably be my next choice. We're still very low on the balance though, despite having artisans in now. I don't know, we need to heavily continue selling ships.
new orders.
Now finally, the riots are also affecting my city directly, so we should start by building some police stations within the city grounds. And for that, we can find one of the outer locations. I could also just have one central police station here. For that, I will need to move a few houses around, and that is exactly what I meant by the city will completely change its face, of course, also over the course of this let's play several times over. So the police station for now. Let's also leave a bit of room then a bit behind it for a nice ornament as well, for a nice little park then. So there we have it in all its glory. The first police station that is going to cover the whole city for now, at least. Training jolly police officers is still going to take another minute. Just on time really, we also got the first artisan resident quest. Steam shall never supersede sail in the imagination. I envision canopies of sail above shell-lined walkways, seascapes and mariners' paraphernalia. And a delivery quest for sales, I guess? Yes, it is. Turner Overdrive, a random reward. Let's provide the sales as we do have this, and we do get a sales clerk out of that. 20,000 credits worth. I love my resident quests. So these happened once per upgrade, and this was a pretty nice reward. And with that, with this item, I can make some cash. And with that, I can build a few more industries.
We assist however we
But let's wait for the frigate to come out, and then I would like to commission a schooner right after this. And I think also, yep, there's actually quite a few ships for sale again. This one, and this one. Some 5,000 credits rolling in. And then there's the next one already on its way.
for assignment.
The Snapdragon. Yeah, in the back, the economic war is in full swing as the opponents already purchased shares from each other. Unfortunately, we are in no place of doing this. We could, however, fight off a share takeover right now. And there's also another thing, takeovers themselves with the latest combat overhaul mob are near impossible. So the price is just too high for now. So we are already looking at 13 million credit takeover, for now, right? And this is only going to continue in the future. So the latest combat overhaul mod really doesn't allow takeovers with shares anymore. Only combat shares. Or only combat takeovers. And we can happily continue now with the city expansion. I would like to have another marketplace right up there. So this is then for this whole area then. Let's build it right away so we can finish those houses. And with the trained police officers, we've finally beaten down any riots that were happening in the area, and it's all peaceful again. Let's continue with upgrading a few more people to artisans. So I would really like to just do this whole thing right here in the center, expanding to the further edges, to the outskirts of my city. That's just fine. Giving us a 1,200 balance surplus right now. I'll take this.
Sozzled from Friday.
How much longer does it take for my frigate? Really just 10 seconds. Let's just wait it out. And boom, we got our first frigate out. A tier 2 ship. African Queen is called. Now we might also then use it for our expedition to Africa. For now though, however, this one here is going to be on my first New World expedition. There we go. And with that we can then unlock the second part of the game. That is the New World. With the frigate we already get the naval power in. I do have a lot of fish, so rations might be for the fish. We could also use it though for the schnapps. So schnapps also provide rations and a nice morale boost that I would like. Force, unfortunately, I think I will not be able to do. I do have something with the weapons, right? So I could provide it, but I don't have anything for force right now, unfortunately.
Good seaman is known in bad.
But crafting is required, and that's just basically a bit of timber. We also reach 100% morale. The crafting has been fulfilled. We got the timber, we got the schnapps. Another thing I might still do is getting some steel beams on board so that we can start either exploring or settling on another island right away, but also building up some defense then rather quickly as well. Bricks I hope we get in the New World ourselves. We do have the Clark, that would be diplomacy, but we don't need that. Let's start the expedition for the New World. And off it goes. The next schooner will be ready then. This is then very important for selling the item, making some additional cash. I was looking with my consumption meanwhile. We're sitting at a comfortable equal production right now, so as long as I'm not upgrading too much, we should be fine. What we can also do now is in Orb-Dush, my other smaller city, that is actually looking like a city already. We do have a nice production right now, so equal. We got 500 farmers on it, 260 workers. And in Orb-Dush, what I would like to do now is I would like to start my hops production, because hops we're going to need for beer, and we finally have a decent farmer population now to start with getting the beer in. Beer is going to be a nice economy boost that we can have. So let's just have the road here along the coast. Whoever, well, we don't know if we need that coast ever, but it's just better to have some space reserved for it. And then we get the beer over there. Hops is one of them, and I do need to start by providing me a hops plantation. Now, I don't imagine that we're ever going to need that much hops, but it's just good to reserve the space for it. The road then continues for the main road up there. Let's actually make this one a bit tight. I think we can still... Nah, that's okay. I don't think we're going to need that much anyway, but that's okay. There we got the hops plantations. I just need to have probably 2 warehouses then in this area. And of course, as always, we should also provide a police station. I would also quickly like to check how much beer we would need. 3 per minute right now, which is actually quite a lot. A brewery produces beer at a steady rate of 1 per minute, so at least 4 we need for surplus. I would calculate with 8, and once we electrify that, we could go up to 16 beer per minute, because the breweries I'm definitely going to electrify as well. But 4 it is for now. That would also require 2 malt houses in addition of 4 grain farms. And some whopping 6 hops plantations. 6 hops plantations will cost me quite a bit. By the looks of it, it will cost me around 3,000 for the buildings themselves. And another 3,000 for the fields, making it 6,000 just for the hops plantation. We will only need 1 warehouse though for now. Let's actually move this one over there a bit, as they're not really producing that quickly. Another thing would be then over here at my grain farms. We do need now 4 of them for the malt houses. So that also leads me to another 5,000 credit cost for the grain plantations here. Let's also build another warehouse then up there. Next up on the list, we do need one more schooner. I think I have another one actually in queue. Yep, we have. Let's get this schooner here, schooner Rangoon, for selling the item, because we are going to need that money. Let's get it over. We can actually also sell another schooner.
Don't tell me I've missed it.
Where's, by the way, my frigate? Is it still? Nope, the frigate is already on its way to the New World. There it is right now. New World Expedition, getting to these parts over there. So right now we're still only sitting here.
Ship constructed.
And the next schooner comes out in all its glory. And this one ultimately will lead to a new trade route, which is a hops trade route from Orb Douche to Knutus. And here we're going to take the hops in. Already 2 trade routes. Yeah, it's going to get a bit busier at the market now, at the harbor area now. Workforce is still fine. Let's continue with the production itself. Down here, I would like to have my beer production then as well. And for that, we do need the malt houses and then the breweries. So for the 4 breweries, we do need 2 malt houses. I'm calculating up to 6 malt houses long-term wise. They don't necessarily need to be electrified, but it's still nice, of course, to do that. So in this area, I would like to probably go ahead with it. We should though be careful about the trade union, as I have my soap factories close by. And I would like to use my soap factories within the trade union then as well. Right, that means here we can have our malt houses. And as I said, I would like to start with 6.
You're a cunning one.
Though I have my doubt if we ever going to need that much. There you go. And I will also need another warehouse then somewhere here in this area. This one is also going to be electrified. So my power station will probably be here, right? And this is then a very short distance to the breweries and whatnot. I might... Now, let's just keep it like that. And there we have the breweries then. I will keep a bit of a distance between each block of these breweries though, as they like to catch fire occasionally. 4 it is for now. And later on, we're going to add more. I don't want to waste too much time with planning ahead all the time. There you go, another warehouse. And let's start out by the first 2 malt houses, as this is going to be quite expensive already. It also will cost me steel beams, I just realized. Even the malt houses cost steel beam, so we probably will not be able to afford all of it right away. But the malt houses can start their production. We already have the grain in store. For the hops and for the breweries, I still wait.
Ready for assignment.
I'm also hoping for another schooner to come out now. There it is. By the way, how many weapons do we have? 20 tons almost. So another frigate might be possible soon. And there's the next schooner out. I would like to use this one right away. Yeah, it's getting busy here in the harbor area. There already needs a ship that is waiting. Sorry, Beryl, I'm not going with a trade decree just yet. And let's go ahead, take some whopping 50 tons of the timber and also some 8 tons of my steel beams. And get this over to this little island just in front of Knutus. Right, so it's just really sitting there. Very important. It's nothing for real here that we take, only we take it for blocking it from other players. Otherwise, one of them at some point soon would settle there for sure, and I can't have an enemy island right in front of my main island. That would be bad for business and bad for my trade routes. Off it goes, perfect. Now also, we have a decision to make. Do we want to invest our first weapons into harbor defenses, or do we want to invest it into my next frigate? I'm going to postpone this answer for a little bit longer, because I'm not entirely sure yet what is more important. Also, what is so important is the 20,000 credit we can get now. Perfect, and also sell the ship. And this gives us 30,000 credits for now, so enough room again to expand a bit my industry.
A farm? An oat field?
And there was a sheep farm not built properly. Production wise we are fine. There's just a surplus here right now. and also all the worker productions are fine. The beer is what I'm missing then. For the beer, I would like to turn it off for now in my artisans and worker residences, getting a bit beer in, and then we can start on that. This will make artisans extremely happy once they have the beer, and also provides me then a real nice boost to my taxes and my economy in general. But we'll just need to wait a little bit longer. And until then, see you in the next episode.